He's very much, I don't know how to put this into one term. Um, he lets things like kind of trickle down, like to us in a way that for the most part is very like he can give us all information at all time because that makes it really hard for everybody to work day to day with too much information. But he's generally pretty good at parsing the right information for what that's worth. I don't know how to put that in a phrase.
Yeah.
He's also just he's a really good like salesman. He likes to understand what the customer wants and tries to make a match between our product and that. And he's also just creative. He doesn't like to stick things in like a just do things just because it was the way things were before. And in fact, he almost swings almost the opposite way. He likes to break the mold a lot, which is actually a good and a bad thing. Sometimes it's hard to work with, things constantly changing all the time. But on the other hand, it also keeps us on our toes.
Okay. What quality would your employees ascribe to you?
Oh man, you're asking me. I would hope that they would ascribe to me that I try to give them as much responsibility to do their job as possible. I think that's the most important thing. I also think I hope that they feel that it's okay to make mistakes, because I'm a big believer in not, putting so much pressure onto a person that they won't take risks. And if you create an environment where they feel like they can't make a mistake, you're also taking away risk taking. And I want my people to be risk taking.
Risk taker.
Yeah. So I hope I give them enough that. But on the flip side, we also hold people accountable. When you do make a mistake, you need to analyze it. You need to figure out what went wrong, so that the next time that you can kind of figure out what it was that caused the error and avoid it for the next time.
When you start a company and you hire people, do you look for people who are just really, really good at their job? I mean, they have all the criteria, they've worked at, this company and this company, or do you look for people who maybe don't have as many criteria, but they're really, really passionate at what they do?
It's more toward the latter, but it's not quite that binary. We actually are built upon, a lot of us, and myself included, didn't have a ton of work experience in this space or even in our functional area. So we end up hiring a lot of people out of college, or after their first job out of college, and they're still fairly young and getting their feet wet. And that's actually a good thing, I think, because they're not used to the way things need to be done. And it's also that it's really, as a student, I'm sure you felt it, it's hard to find that first job, because everything wants like 3 to 5 years experience. And there's a lot of good people coming out of college that they don't have the experience, but they're, it's passion, but it's also, it also has to show out in determination and, how they've kind of played out in their school lives or their other like part-time job wise. There's a lot of ways to evaluate students like that. So we're looking for, more than passionate, I would say motivated. There's a lot of passionate people that are passionate about video games, and so you have to be careful not to just hire someone who likes games. What you're looking for is someone who can actually learn a function, who can be motivated, and can stick with something for a long time. So that's what I would say we look for.
How do you delegate responsibility within the company?
For the most part, like I said, we have very clear areas that we're in charge in. It fluctuates, though. I mean, like for me, I do marketing, a little bit of HR, and a little bit of general administrative things. And sometimes that bleeds over, other people are in the same boat. So a lot of actually what happens with responsibility is if you see a gap and you decide it's important enough on your particular task list that this is important enough for my job to get done, or important enough for the unit, you just take it on, and then that becomes part of your responsibility. So it's kind of even though definitely we have spheres that we have to take care of, there's certain things that I have to do every week in order to make sure that the team runs from my perspective. I also have a lot of leeway to look at all the opportunities available to me, like if I want to focus more on my time on hiring an intern over launching a new marketing campaign, I can actually make that call. And so it's a little bit of both. It's a little bit of job responsibilities, and then it's a little bit of looking for the best opportunities and doing the best that you can. And the way that we evaluate that is every week we have, at the end of the week, since we're a small team, like 15 people on our side in-house, I will sit down with people one-on-one and talk with them about their week, and so that they can evaluate what they've done this week, if it was the best thing to do, what other things that need to be done, so that things don't, that, you know, normal responsibilities don't get superseded by smaller personal projects.
Is technology a major factor in your company? If it is, why? And if it's not, why?
Oh, it definitely is a major factor in our company, and it's mostly because the opportunity in gaming is, if you want to make it big in games, you could have a huge studio and you could go after the current market, which is, you know, Xbox, PS3, Wii games. But there's not a ton of innovation there, because it's kind of good in one way because you have a specific system that you can create games for. But on the other hand, that system is created by someone else and you have zero influence on that.